Yellowstone, and the sprawling Dutton family tree, explained. Here's how each spin-off series, first 1883 and then 1923, expanded the Dutton lineage that emanated from Kevin Costner's central patriarch. With each new series in the mega-hit Yellowstone franchise, a new generation of Duttons emerges. After launching in 2018 with Kevin Costner's central patriarch John Dutton and his immediate family, co-creator Taylor Sheridan traveled back in time to expand the franchise and introduce elder generations of Duttons, first with a single season of 1883 and then with the series 1923, which returns with its second and presumably final season February 23rd. The Dutton family tree has branched out as Yellowstone has been airing, with the flagship series currently heading into what may be its series finale on Sunday. First, viewers followed James, Tim McGraw, and Margaret Dutton, Faith Hill, on their family's treacherous journey west through the Great Plains in 1883, a trek that would ultimately lead to what becomes the Yellowstone Ranch of the flagship series. And later, 1923 would introduce the audience to Jacob, Harrison Ford, and Cara Dutton, Helen Mirren, the Duttons who get the Yellowstone Ranch up and running after the untimely deaths of James and Margaret. With both of the sequel series taking place decades before Yellowstone's John Costner was even born, it's helpful to understand who's who in the family saga, especially since revisiting the past helps to reframe the present. Sunday's supersized Season 5B finale of Yellowstone, directed by Sheridan, may be the final episode in the flagship series. Sheridan and Paramount Network have not confirmed anything, but fan favorites Kelly Reilly and Cole Hauser are reportedly steering the Yellowstone-verse ship towards a spin-off series. Other spin-offs are already greenlit, including the present-day set series The Madison. Below, The Hollywood Reporter breaks down each generation of Duttons, including what we've learned via interviews with Sheridan and his sprawling cast. Here's how to stream Yellowstone. 1883 and 1923 are available to stream on Paramount. James Tim McGraw and Margaret Dutton, Faith Hill, Claire Dutton, Don Olivieri. Jacob, Harrison Ford, and Cara Dutton, Helen Mirren. 1883 launched on Paramount Plus in 2021, 3 years into Yellowstone's run. The Western Limited series, which is set in the year 1883, was narrated by main character Elsa Dutton, Isabel May, the daughter to James, Tim McGraw, and Margaret Dutton, Faith Hill. The prequel series traced the Dutton lineage back to James Dutton and his sister Claire Dutton, played by Don Olivieri, the actress who would also go on to play Fixer Sarah Atwood in later seasons of Yellowstone, who died by suicide early on in 1883. Her daughter Mary Abel, Emma Malouf, also died. Viewers never met Claire's husband, named Henry Dutton. Viewers would later meet the brother to James and Claire in 1923, Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, and his wife Cara, Helen Mirren. Elsa Dutton, Isabel May, Spencer, Brandon Sklenar, and Alex Dutton, Julia Schlepfer, John Sr., James Badge Daly, and Emma Dutton, Marley Shelton. The opening of 1883 set the tone for what would lie ahead in the series when it opened with a flash-forward, the scene that would bring about the untimely death of heroine Elsa. Her spirit, however, would continue on in the franchise, as May narrates 1923. Speaking from the grave as Elsa, she informed viewers that her parents, James and Margaret, died after the events of 1883, first James, followed by Margaret. But before her death, Margaret wrote a letter to her husband's brother, Jacob, who then found and raised Elsa's surviving brothers, John Sr. and Spencer. 1883 viewers met John Sr. as a young boy, played by Audie Rick. Spencer, however, hadn't yet been born. Upon my father's death, my mother wrote to his brother, begging that he bring his family to this wild land and save hers, Elsa explained in voiceover in 1923. A year later, he arrived to find my mother frozen in a snowdrift, her 2 boys half-starved and barely able to speak. He raised them as his own and took my father's dream and made it into an empire. Then the empire crumbled. Sheridan explained of his decision to jump the series to the year 1923. I chose that moment in time to peek back in because you're seeing the children that we've met in 1883 attempting to raise another generation of Dutton. Yellowstone viewers will recall a flashback in Season 4, which introduced James and Margaret, as well as a young John and Spencer, when James was shot. That scene served as real-life couple McGraw and Hill's audition, giving Sheridan the idea to center them in 1883. 1923 then introduced the boys as adults, with John Sr. played by James Badgedale and Spencer played by Brandon Sklenar. John Sr., who did not have any children with wife Emma, Marley Shelton, suffers an untimely death early on in 1923, pivoting the series to focus on Spencer and setting him up to be the Dutton to take over the Yellowstone ranch from an ailing Jacob. Season 1 ended with a Spencer-heavy cliffhanger, as he was separated from his new bride Alex, Julia Schlepfer, and Season 2 hinges on his Montana return to save both the family and the Yellowstone ranch from external threats. Jack, Darren Mann, and Liz Dutton, Michelle Randolph. After 5 seasons of Yellowstone and trips back in time to 1883 and 1923, one overarching question remains. Who is John Dutton's grandfather? Yellowstone viewers were introduced to his elderly father, John Dutton Sr., played by Dabney Coleman, in a Season 2 flashback. John's mother has yet to appear or be named. Now that the audience has met the generation that preceded him on 1923, a guessing game, even among the franchise cast, began about which character Sheridan will reveal to be the Dutton son who begins the Yellowstone flagship's family line. 1923 then introduced the boys as adults, with John Sr. played by James Badgedale and Spencer played by Brandon Sklenar. John Sr., who did not have any children with wife Emma, Marley Shelton, suffers an untimely death early on in 1923, pivoting the series to focus on Spencer and setting him up to be the Dutton to take over the Yellowstone ranch from an ailing Jacob. Season 1 ended with a Spencer-heavy cliffhanger, as he was separated from his new bride Alex, Julia Schlepfer, and Season 2 hinges on his Montana return to save both the family and the Yellowstone ranch from external threats. Jack, Darren Mann, and Liz Dutton, Michelle Randolph. After 5 seasons of Yellowstone and trips back in time to 1883 and 1923, one overarching question remains. Who is John Dutton's grandfather? Yellowstone viewers were introduced to his elderly father, John Dutton Sr., played by Dabney Coleman, in a Season 2 flashback. John's mother has yet to appear or be named. Now that the audience has met the generation that preceded him on 1923, a guessing game, even among the franchise cast, began about which character Sheridan will reveal to be the Dutton son who begins the Yellowstone flagship's family line. Some viewers believe Spencer is John's grandfather, and that he and Alex could have a child coming soon. Others believe that John Sr.'s son, Jack, Darren Mann, could still serve that role. Later episodes of 1923 revealed that Jack's pregnant wife, Liz, Michelle Randolph, had a miscarriage and she and Jack accepted they may not be able to have a child. According to Sklenar, Sheridan hasn't yet revealed who's who, even to the cast. It's something that Taylor is keeping very close to the vest. I have my own theories, but it's to be told, to be written, to be seen. He's always moving all that stuff around, Sklenar told THR during the first season and reiterated after the finale. We like to debate what we think, echoed Randolph. Yellowstone star Wes Bentley said something similar when asked about his on-screen father's lineage. I've seen the Dutton family tree flow charts online, but I'm waiting for Taylor to really reveal things. I know how he writes, so I'm going to wipe those away for now. Good first draft, but let's see what's coming down the line, he told THR after the Season 5 mid-season finale of Yellowstone. And it's even a mystery still to the franchise's all-knowing narrator. You could spend your time theorizing, all the power to you. I'd rather just be told. Eventually we all will, May recently told THR. John, Kevin Costner, and Evelyn Dutton, Gretchen M.O. Skipping ahead to John Dutton 3, Costner brings viewers back around to the Yellowstone flagship series, which followed the starring Montana cattle rancher in charge of the Yellowstone and its land, who made his transformation into a politician by Season 5, and his children as the family desperately holds onto their ranch amid evolving times. Following the death of his young wife Evelyn Dutton, Gretchen Mole, the family suffered another untimely death when oldest child, Lee Dutton, Dave Annable, was killed in the series premiere. Jamie Dutton, Bentley, Beth Dutton, Kelly Reilly, and Case Dutton, Luke Grimes, remain alive and fiery, heading into the Season 5B finale, airing December 15th, as they seek to avenge the death of their father. Costner departed the series between seasons 5A and 5B. John was killed off in the season 5B premiere. John's brother Peter, it has also been revealed, died shortly after childbirth. Lee Dutton, Dave Annable, Jamie Dutton, Wes Bentley, Beth Dutton, Kelly Reilly, and Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser. Case Luke Grimes and Monica Dutton, Elsie Aspill. The ghost of Lee returned in a key moment of Yellowstone in Season 4 to help guide Case during a vision quest that would change the arc of his story. With Case largely forming his own path with wife Monica Dutton, Kelsey Aspill, and their surviving son Tate, Brecken Merrill, the battle for the legacy of Yellowstone has largely boiled down to estranged siblings Jamie and Beth, who kicked off Season 5B by waging a war against one another. On Beth's side of the battle was the now-departed John, as well as husband Rip, Cole Hauser, who plays the devoted Yellowstone head ranch hand. Season 5B, however, elevated Case to Beth's side as they seek to expose brother Jamie for his involvement in their father's assassination. They also head into the season finale with a plan as to how to save the ranch. Teen Tate Dutton, son to Case and Monica, leads the youngest generation of Duttons and has expressed interest in doing what his father requires of him when it comes to the ranch. Jamie's infant son with ex-Christina, Catherine Cunningham, was finally referenced in the penultimate episode after being largely absent from the 5th season, but Jamie's involvement as a father remains unclear. This season is not about Jamie as a father. This season is about Jamie as a son, executive producer Christina Voros explained. Beth and husband Rip, meanwhile, have all but adopted teen cowboy Carter, Finn Little. However, he is not in the Dutton bloodline. And now, new characters have been added to the future timeline with the announcement of the Madison, the sequel series that will take place after the events of Yellowstone and will star Michelle Pfeiffer. It remains to be seen what relation, if any, her character has to the Duttons, but the series was initially described as one that would include both new and familiar faces and locations. Here is the official synopsis. The Madison is a heartfelt study of grief and human connection following a New York City family in the Madison River Valley of central Montana. The Season 5B finale, which has an extended 1 hour and 26-minute runtime, is sure to provide answers on the fate of the family and the ranch. Here is the logline. The fate of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch is revealed.